What up, YouTube? It's your boy Danny Nuggets back in with another video. Things for TikTok right now are kind of slow because there's no basketball at the moment. The players are still on the All-Star break, and there's no games until tomorrow. And we're kind of like lucky in a sense, but also it's unfortunate because of the LA fires that it's like a makeup game. So technically speaking, the Lakers and Hornets game wouldn't even be happening tomorrow, but I digress. The point of this video is that I want to talk about whether or not talk about the season in full and see whether or not if the Boston Celtics can repeat. Honestly, it's been the question of this decade or the in the 2020s in general, can a defending champion finally repeat? Because we haven't had a repeat champion since the previous one and since the KD and Steph Warriors when they had won three of the last four titles. And because of KD's, no offense to the 2019 Raptors, injuries played a part in that title, but I digress. So there's been a new champion every single year since 2019 until onward. The Raptors, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Warriors again, the Nuggets, and then last year the Celtics. The only difference between these previous teams and like this one is like outside of not even literally the Celtics are the only team to like keep everybody and they're literally they were able to keep the same roster. You can argue the Warriors and the Nuggets technically had the same rosters, but I feel like the Warriors lost depth pieces in 2022 and the Nuggets also lost depth pieces in Jeff Green and Bruce Brown. As for the Warriors, it was like Otto Porter Jr., who played a pivotal role, and like other lesser role players. They kind of filled out the rotation and they tried to slide in the younger guys, and it just didn't work out. And it was the year where they were allergic to playing road games. As for the Nuggets, they sputtered out in the second round against the Minnesota Timberwolves in a pretty shocking fashion because it was a back and forth series and both teams took turns beating of each other up. There were a couple close games here and there, like game one, game four, and like game seven. But ultimately, the Nuggets fumbled a 20-point lead last year. And as a result, the Timberwolves got to the conference finals, and then the Celtics won. They swept the Pacers, and then they beat the Mavericks in five. The only difference, like I said, is they were able to retain everybody. Ownership was able to like literally give everybody the bag, so everybody is on the team for at least one more season, including this one. So it's this year and the next season. I think they're able to keep this core six or seven of like at least the core six of like JB, JT, D White, Horford, Porzingis, and Drew Holiday. That six, I think, is on the books until like next off season. I want to say in the 2026 off season. You can fact check me if I'm wrong. Maybe Porzingis contract situation ends like after this off season, but overall they still have the same team. The team is like a good mixture of like young and old. Like the only older player on that roster technically is no, the two older players on that roster is Al and Drew Holiday. Aside from that, everybody else is in their prime or younger. JT's 27 or about to be 27, JB's 28. Porzingis is also in his late 20s. D White is like early 30s. Peyton Pritchard is also becoming a contributing piece. So is Sam Hauser. They got Torrey Craig. And honestly, it's kind of hard to see, similar to last year. I know we've said this for all defending champions. It's kind of hard seeing somebody beat the defending champions four times in a 7-game series. This Boston team is really well rounded. I know they had them malaise in the middle of the season where they looked kind of mid and they were playing like 500 basketball, but they really picked it up at the end of the All-Star break. 8-2 in the last 10, like a 3-game win streak. Had some good wins against the Cavs, the Knicks, and I'm missing one more good team off the top of my head, but it eludes me. JT is playing the best basketball of his career. I know efficiency wise, and I know he's had higher scoring seasons and slightly more efficient seasons, but I feel all around this is the best he's been as a playmaker. Scoring wise, like the mid range is there, decision making is a lot better. The only funny thing is, like the downside is the team is shooting worse as a whole because last year they were the best like 3-point shooting team by a mile. The only saving grace is that they're still top four. They're still top 10. Excuse me. They're still top 10 both offensively and defensively in offensive and defensive ratings, because they have the perfect mix of athletes, good rim protection, switchable defenders, good point of attack defenders. You name it, they have it. They get back defensively. I heard they're like number one in transition defense. JT versatile defender. JB's good there in terms of point of attack. I know he's kind of slipped compared to last year because it's kind of the team last year. It's kind of hard to stay like locked in because the team that's never won is usually super motivated. They were a 60 plus win team last year. They're still probably gonna get a high 50 wins, maybe crack the 60 number. But overall, the Celtics team is like humming, and the only way I would see them like fumbling the bag is like if a certain matchup were to happen, and then like maybe Porzingis is unhealthy, and then the 3 point variance is just like it goes completely the other way because they take so many that it might not even matter. They take the most threes in the league, damn near 50. They take like 48 threes a game, but like the math, for the most part, the math will always favor them. Is like 3 point variance would have to switch the other way. Like JB is having a career, one of his worst years shooting. Drew Holiday is no longer 60% in the corner. So there are some things that can go against them. Like in terms of the East, the only team. Maybe it's because I have blind faith in one player. The Giannis matchup, I still feel like can give them issues. And honestly, even though record-wise those two teams are better than the Bucks, like the Celtics, not the Celtics, the Cavaliers and the Knicks matchup-wise, I just can't believe in them. They have too many liabilities defensively that Boston could take advantage of. And in terms of the West, OKC can match up with them, but offensively, I worry outside of SGA, like if they're shooting well enough, like the others, like Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins in them, Lugans, J Dub, Chet, if they're actually hitting their threes, that can be a crazy series. And I believe in SGA, but like I just don't believe in the others to hit their outside shots. Defensively, they may even be better than Boston, but I just don't believe in them offensively. The Nuggets, I don't know if they'll even get to the finals. I feel like that can be a matchup problem because of the issues that Jokic presents. But even then, like even if we were to get there, like math wise, it'd be a pretty horrendous matchup because even though the Nuggets have the best field goal percentage and one of the best 3 point percentage teams in the league, we take like the least amount of threes. So that is a funny math battle. And I don't feel like the Lakers roster wise are there yet because they don't have a center. And then all the other West teams have their own litany of issues. And that's basically it for me, man. Boston should be favorites. I don't know about heavy favorites because I don't think they look as good as last year, but I would be surprised if somebody were to be. I wouldn't be shocked if they were to lose, but I would be surprised if they were to fall, like if they were not able to go back to back. But it just shows you how hard it is to be a back to back champion in this fine league. And that's basically it for me, man. Comment down below if you agree with me, disagree with me. Do you think Boston's repeat is inevitable? Or do you think the Celtics will get upset this year? Comment down below. Like and follow is appreciated. Be on the lookout for more content. And as always, have a good one, guys. Peace. Check out my TikTok. And yeah, that's basically it. Have a good one. Peace.